When it comes to your content creation, you want to make sure that your videos match your photos. But oftentimes, as we're filming content, especially on our phone, maybe on our cameras, we can notice that there is a stark difference between the photos we're sharing at the same time we are sharing our video, which means we need to do some color correction to our videos. Now, I've shown you before here on the channel how you can be doing that directly inside of your phone, and we talk about how you can do it inside of your camera too. But you can actually change your video footage to match your photos inside of Adobe Lightroom, and it's incredibly easy to do. So today we're going to be taking a look at how to do this. Now, I do have to preface this by saying we are having some tech troubles right now, and we're unable to share our window as we normally would. So you're actually going to see my entire screen, and you're going to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of what this looks like. So give me a little bit of grace on this one as we jump into today's conversation on how we can be doing this inside of Lightroom. So now you can see we do have a video that I have added to our Lightroom. So whatever video you're working on, whatever photos you're going to be doing, you can match this coloring inside of Lightroom. So I'm just going to use my slider, and I am going to move this over to where I am on screen somewhere. There we go. You can see right now inside of this video, I am very blue tone. We do not have a natural skin color for this. Everything is kind of dark and shadowy. So I'm going to look over to the right side of my screen where I have different things like lighting and coloring. Now I am going to jump into the coloring first, and I actually want to bump up my temperature. So you can see even as I'm moving this toward the yellow side of things so that it's a bit warmer, you can see that more natural skin tone coming through. You can see the coloring of the rocks, so it doesn't look like it's directly in shadows. And of course, you can take it to the extreme where it is too far. So you always want to make sure you find that nice balance. I usually go with my temperature first, and then I'm going to adjust everything else. So the next thing we're going to be doing is checking the lighting. I'm going to be adjusting color, my exposure, and my contrast, and all those things. Then I'll go back into my color. So I'm going to actually bump up my exposure just a little bit, and that's a little bit too far. So then I'm going to be able to move it back down to where I need it to be. I can then bump up my contrast. I can play with my highlights and my shadows. So highlights will allow me to take anything that is a lighter tone. So my skin, the sky, the rocks, and those things I can make darker so I can make them more pronounced, or I can brighten them up a little bit. I'm actually going to make it a little more pronounced down to the negative side of things. Shadows, you can either enhance your shadows or you can take it away. So if you have darkness over your face, you are able to lighten it by moving it up so that it's brighter, or you can darken it by dragging it down. So we are going to lighten this up just a little bit. At that point, you also have the ability to deal with your whites and with your blacks. It's kind of the same thing, but a little bit on the different side. And if you know what you're doing, you can get into your point curve as well. So once I've got that settled, now I want to go back into my color and mess with my temperature and my tint and my vibrance and my saturation. So I may actually want to bump up my vibrance just a little bit on this one. I can saturate it so I become very kind of orangey, or I can desaturate it where we take it back down to like a black and white coloring. I'm going to leave that one right in the middle. And if you don't like where you are and you're not working with the sliders properly, you can actually highlight that number and type in the number you want. So if you want to balance that back out, you just type in your 0. Now from there are color mixers, you've got color grading as well, you've got effects and things that you can be using, but that is pretty good for what we are looking for. And then I can just adjust as needed for it to match my photos and for it to match my videos as we are doing our video content creation. And again, remember, we are going to be taking this and we're going to be using this so that we can match our photos to our videos. Hey, Nick, thanks for jumping in. And we want to make sure that we have these in a way that they look like they were taken at the same time, because so oftentimes we will see content creators, especially influencers, take the video that they've created and they just take the video and put it on, and it's dark, it's shadowy, it's very blue tone, and then they've got their presets and their pretty changes for their photos. So when they put the video versus the photos, it does not work very well, and you can see the very clear difference. We clearly edited this, and we, as we're creating content out in the world, we want to make sure it looks like a flawless, intentional creation of that content, and we want to make sure that it looks like this is how we filmed it, this is how we created it. So we need to adjust our video as well. Now again, you can do all of this inside of your phone directly. I show you how to do that here on the channel. You can do it inside of all the different programs that you use, but it's really easy to use inside of Lightroom. So if you've got questions on this, please go ahead and drop those below. I would love to get them answered for you to make sure that we are leveling up your content creation so you can get more paid brand sponsored deals, so you can work with more companies, and so that you can get more people to grow with your brand and be a part of your community. So drop those questions below, hit that subscribe and notification bell, because every single day we're dropping brand new tutorials on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, live streaming, and the tools and resources you need to grow your community and make more money online while spending less time creating that content. I will see you for our next live stream, and be sure to join us because we're doing a ton of live streams over on TikTok almost daily, answering your questions in real time and then taking those clips and putting them here on the YouTube channel to make sure everyone's benefiting from those answers as well. I'll see you in our next live stream here on the YouTube channel and our next live stream over on TikTok as well. Until then, have a great day and stay inspired.